Today we are going to learn about the articles the, on, and the zero article. Before we start, let me talk about what articles are, and what they're for. Articles are the, on, and o, and the zero article, the things that come before nouns. What are they used for? Articles help readers distinguish between general and specific slash shared knowledge. So, a quick overview. We use the definite article to identify known and specific nouns. We use the indefinite articles and un to identify unknown or unspecified nouns. And we use the zero article. Well, the zero article is used for things in general. So let's look at the definite article the. Take about 10 seconds to read this paragraph, and to think about what is wrong with the article usage in the paragraph. I will read it and give you 10 seconds to think about it. A man who came last night called this morning. A man said he will call again later. It turned out that it was LeBron, a best basketball player. He was an MVP last year. Okay, take 10 seconds now to think about the errors in article usage in this paragraph. Okay, let's talk about what went wrong here. First, a man who came last night. The man who came last night. Here, the man who came last night. We use the in this sentence because the sentence specifies which man, which is a man who came last night. So, because the sentence specifies the man, it's more specific, then we use the. We also, in the next sentence, a man said he will call later. Okay, here we use the man because when the writer and the reader both know the noun, we use the. Here it has already been introduced before. It's the man who came last night. The man said he will call again later. In the next sentence, it turned out that it was LeBron, a best basketball player. We have best, and best is a superlative, so we use the with best. When there's a best, it's a superlative. It's very specific, using superlatives. Lastly, he was an MVP player. He was the MVP last year. We use the with abbreviations. Now here with you can, if there are many MVPs, then you can say he was an MVP player last year. But this is more usually used with very specific nouns such as the USA, the ROK, the Republic of Korea. Moving on now. So generally used the definite article. Quick summary: generally used with information that is known and specific. So such as when the sentence specifies the noun, the man who came last night. Who came last night specifies which man. Okay. When the writer and the reader both know the noun or it has been introduced. The man said he will call again later. Here it has already been introduced. And we use it with superlatives. It turned out that it was LeBron, the best basketball player, and with abbreviations. He was the MVP last year. Once again, when I talk about abbreviations, think about such things as the FBI, the CIA, the USA, the UAE, that is the United Emirates, the EU, okay, the European Union. So we use it with the. Moving on to the indefinite articles and un. Again, I'm going to read this paragraph to you, and I would like you to take about 10 seconds afterwards to think about what wrong article usages are present. Here we go. The boy and an alligator were playing at the zoo. A boy threw at the animal the ball. It was loved by a red dog of a boy that lives next door. Okay, take 10 seconds now to think about what is wrong with this paragraph. Okay, let's talk about the indefinite articles and un. In the first sentence, the boy and a alligator, we changed the boy to a boy because we are introducing the noun. Okay, when introducing a noun, starting with a consonant to a reader, here we are introducing a boy. Okay, the reader does not know which boy, but here we're introducing it first. An alligator, we have to change alligator to an alligator because alligator starts with a vowel, so we're introducing an alligator. Okay, and when first introducing an alligator, we have the a noun that starts with a vowel, we have to use un. In the next sentence, a boy threw at the animal the ball. A boy has to be changed to the boy because when first mentioning a noun to reader, but here we're not mentioning. Here the boy has already been mentioned before. Okay. Lastly, we change the ball to a ball because when first mentioning a noun to a reader, we don't know which ball. We're first mentioning the ball to the reader. The reader doesn't know which ball. So, it was loved by a red dog of a boy that lives next door. We have to change a red dog to the red dog of a boy that lives next door. Why? When the noun is not specified. But here, the red dog of a boy that lives next door is too specific. So it's already been specified in the sentence. Um, Moving on. So, generally use the indefinite articles and un are used with nouns that are unknown and unspecified. These are used when introducing a noun to a reader. A boy and an alligator were playing at the zoo. So a boy and an alligator, we're introducing those. The reader doesn't know them, but after I introduce them, he will know them. But when first introducing a boy, an alligator. When first mentioning a noun to a reader, the boy threw a ball at the animal. Okay, the boy threw at the animal a ball. Okay, here a boy and the boy. Okay, the boy has already been introduced, but a ball is being first mentioned here. And when the noun is not specified, it was loved by a red dog versus the red dog of a boy that lives next door. Okay, moving on now, we're going to look at the zero article. So again, I'm going to read this paragraph. Please take about 10 seconds afterwards to think about what errors are present in article usage. What article usage errors are present? The students went to a farm to buy the milk. Students also bought the grain. The students were bit by the mosquitoes. Okay? Take 10 seconds to think about the article usage errors that are present here. Okay, so let's talk about the zero articles. In the first sentence, the students and the milk are both incorrect. We have to change the students to zero article. Students went to a farm to buy milk. We use it when first mentioning plural nouns. So because it's a plural noun and we're first mentioning this, we don't use we don't use the. We don't use the because we don't know which students. We don't use and un because it's plural. Went to a farm to buy milk. We use the zero article. Okay, here. Why? Because it's a non-count noun, and it's not specified, and it hasn't been mentioned before. So, okay. In the second sentence, students also bought the grain. Students has to be changed, is incorrect, and the grain has to be changed as well. We have to use the students instead of students. Why? Well, when first mentioning plural nouns, but here we've already mentioned. Again, the students have already been mentioned. Okay? The students, that is the noun, has already been mentioned. Also, bought grain, again, for non-count nouns that haven't been specified or haven't been mentioned, just generally. Okay? So, we use the zero article. In the last sentence, the students were bit by mosquitoes. Only mosquitoes is incorrect. We changed that to the zero article because first mentioned the plural nouns. Okay. So we use the zero articles. Use the zero articles with general information and things. When first mentioning plural nouns, students went to the farm. When for non-count nouns, the students also bought grain. If we don't know which grain, then we use the zero article. And for unspecified plural nouns, okay, so the students were bit by mosquitoes versus the students were bit by the black and white mosquitoes that lived in a pond on the farm. Okay, so You see here it's very specific. The black and white mosquitoes that lived in a palm on the farm versus just mosquitoes, non-specific plural noun. Okay, so quick summary. Remember to use the to identify known specific nouns, and un, the indefinite articles, to identify unknown or unspecified nouns, and the zero article is used for things in general. I'm over the 10-minute mark. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Please have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in class. If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, please email me.